Hello everybody and welcome back to Dark Souls. We are finally exploring the first... there's a tutorial area, so maybe the second-ish? Holy crap! That was a dragon. Yeah, so we're exploring one of the first areas of the game. So it's going to be a bit of a breeze for us. These hollows are all pretty weak. They all telegraph their attacks massively. Not going to be a huge challenge for us. I'm expecting to fly through here really quickly. But still a good place to go through. There's still going to be a couple of fun bosses to fight. There's going to be some equipment that I do actually want to acquire. So on, so on. Ooh. Hollow soldier armor. So, I'm gonna come over here. We didn't explore this path. Alright, yeah, that thrust attack is pretty useful against those guys. Come on. Alright, this area is kind of hidden-ish. And through this door we will encounter a merchant.
Well now, you seem to have your wits about you, hmm?
He's a little bit freaky.
You are a welcome customer. I trade for souls. Everything's for sale.
Yeah, that laugh. Oh man. So we can talk to him. We can buy some items. He has a few useful items here. The orange guidance soapstone. Again, you're supposed to come here pretty early, so you're supposed to have this orange soapstone very early in the game. It only costs 100 souls. This will let us write messages like we've seen everyone else doing. Residence key, sure, why not? Bottomless box, I don't really care for, so I'm not going to bother. He has some not horrible items. He sells armor, bolts, some chain armor, leather gauntlets, you know. Nothing that we really need or care about. I believe you can also kill him and get a pretty sweet weapon. Yeah, but I'm not going to be using the weapon, so I'm not going to bother. I'll leave that for you to discover on your own, if you ever want to play Dark Souls. So I'm going to continue on. This should loop us back around. Ooh. Yeah, I like the way this ninja armor looks, and I like being able to move quickly, but we really, really can't take many hits when we're wearing this. That might be a bit of a problem down the line for us. I mean, for being some of the weakest enemies in the game, those guys hit us pretty darn hard. I'm also being kind of careless. By kind of careless, I mean extremely careless. So there's that. Maybe make this jump? Or not. I think there's just an item that gives you souls in there. I don't actually remember. Don't care. Not anything I need to have. Were important, I'm sure I would have remembered what it was. I'm not going to bother. Okay, so in here is a bonfire for us to light. Now we're getting into shortcut territory. So if I climb this ladder, this area may look familiar to you if you've been watching all my videos. This is a ladder that we kicked down a long time ago. It was actually raised and could not be accessed from below. This ladder is a very handy little shortcut to this bridge. Oh boy. Remember that dragon we just saw a little while ago? I just found him. And then so that dragon's going to be guarding that area there. And that area that the dragon is perched over is the bonfire and the altar of sunlight, where we joined our covenant that we're in. So, hopefully some of this... Oh, good grief, and we're getting invaded again. So that's why this fog wall is here. It's not one that we can traverse. Oh boy. Backstabbed. Interesting. I believe he used a talisman on me so that I can't heal myself now. Oh, and he's backstabbing me thanks to lag. So this guy actually knows what he's doing a little bit more than the last one did. Although I'm also staggering the crap out of him. Oh, that was close. I almost had him. Bummer. Thus the dangers of wandering around when you're in human form. Unfortunately, I don't think we've rested at a bonfire for quite some time, so this is probably going to kick us all the way back to... Yeah, the blacksmith. I was afraid of that. Alright, well, I'm not going to turn human, at least not until I get all my souls back. I would hate to be invaded again, killed, and then not be able to get those, what, like 90,000 souls that we had laying around? And I'm even contemplating just leveling up a bunch, just for the sake of using all those souls before we lose them. Use it or lose it. Now, unfortunately, there's not a good way to get past the dragon from this side now that he's back. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty tedious, no matter which way we want to go. So I'm just going to go back through Firelink Shrine. That's the easiest and the safest way. Interesting. I wonder if we would have stood a better chance against that guy if we would have been using the mace. Which, now that I think about it, I want to see... So, with this longsword, we're up to 299 damage. Which you can see over on the right there. And if we go down and look at our Divine Mace plus 5, 334. So, decent difference between the two. I'm going to chalk it up to the sword being a faster weapon. I think that balances things out a little bit. And I think I'm okay with that balance. I think I'm okay using a faster weapon. At least for now. You know, it's fun. Gotta mix it up a little bit. Just gonna take out these guys real quick. Oh, man. Those hollows that throw the firebombs can be a bit of a nuisance, and we're going to be running into a fair few more of them back up here in the Undead Burg. Huh. That rat's corpse just disappeared. Alright. Back here. Up these stairs. Gonna kill these guys quickly. Gonna kill this firebomb thrower quickly. He has a friend here. It took a bit of a hit, but that's okay. This time I'm actually going to rest at this bonfire that we encountered not long ago. Alright. There we go. Yay, back at the bonfire. Let's rest here. Get a little checkpoint action going on. Also, we picked up a humanity. just from killing those hollows, I guess, on our way up here. Okay. Yep, there's all our stuff. So this will lead us in that direction. Don't want to go there, at least not yet. And that's where the dragon is. Ah, didn't mean to go there. Let's go this way. Yeah, so that's one fun little shortcut that we opened up earlier. Nope, fell like an idiot. You know what? And I am going to level up here. Let's see. What do we want? Faith. I want better spells, always. A little bit of faith. Endurance is always a good thing to have. I think... don't want to go up to 25. 2 in endurance. Maybe just a little bit into vitality. I don't want to put too much into vitality. It seems like... not quite a waste, but it kind of seems like a waste. If you need more health because you're taking lots of hits, you're generally playing the game wrong. Whereas more stamina and more equipment load is always welcome. But we are using Divine Weapons, so I'm going to put that last point of faith there. And now we need, give or take, 14,000 souls to level up. So, not bad. Level 48. I run over here and I gotta deal with this crossbow guy again real quick before he becomes a problem. Alright. Those guys have been dealt with. Now, yep, as I mentioned, we're gonna be running into more of these firebomb thrower guys. Oh, that's an archer. Archer who looked to be taking too many hits. Alright. I am going to rest here at the bonfire. I'm going to become human again. I used up the bulk of my souls. I think it's more interesting to be running around as human, even if I suck at PvP. Or rather, even if this cleric sucks at PvP. Alright, so sprint all the way across here. Oh boy. So there's a bunch of hollows here. There may be... ooh, got a battle axe, that's cool. Maybe one's gonna come... oh, there he is. Alright, I thought there was one more around here somewhere. He was behind me. Awesome. Now, this gate is usually closed. You may actually recognize this area. Again, we are in Shortcut City now. So if I go all the way down here, this will lead to the dogs and the hollow bandits and the Capra demon that we fought earlier. Yeah. Yeah, so that's how this whole place is connected. So this is the lower Undead Burg down here. Oh, actually, you know what? There is a thing that we can do down here. I just remembered. I think there's a thing we can do down here. Let's finish off some of these dogs first. 2. There's usually a 3rd. There he is. Awesome. Now, if we run over... I forget where it was. Not that door. This door. So we picked up a residence key. We bought it off the merchant earlier. Now, we could come in here and free this guy. So way back a million years ago when we were here originally, this guy was calling out for help because he's locked inside.
Brilliant. You opened the door for me. Thank you. I'm saved. I thought I might never escape. I am Griggs of Vinheim, a sorcerer.
Griggs of Vinheim, sorcerer.
I am much obliged for your assistance. Thanks to you, I may now resume my travels.
So again, this is an area you can access very, very early in the game. So you can actually get access to this guy and...
Oh, hello. I have my sorcery. Besides, I have an important...
So he is going to head back to Firelink Shrine and kind of rest and recover. So if we go back to Firelink Shrine, now that we've rescued him, we can visit him, and he will sell us sorceries. Oh, good grief. Pick that up. Yeah, sorcerer's equipment. So here's where you get your free sorcerer's equipment, your free catalyst, and then he will sell you spells. So this is how you access sorceries early in the game. The guy who sells us miracles early in the game, Petrus, I keep calling him because that's his name. You know, you can access him early in the game, you can access the sorcerer pretty early in the game, and there is a pyromancer who you can access a little bit later than this. You can access the pyromancer shortly after fighting the Capra demon if you proceed down into the sewers. I haven't gone into the sewers yet, but in theory we could go buy pyromancies if we wanted to. Alright. Again, I'm just kind of hanging out doing a little bit of exploration here while I can. Smashing everything because it's so much fun. Black firebombs, those are stronger than the normal regular firebombs. They're also much, much harder to come by in the game. Try hope. Got another firebomb from the firebomb thrower. Now these guys up here, these are the hollows that were throwing the firebombs down on us. So I'm just going to punt them off the edge because it seems like the fun thing to do. Gorgeous view. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Alright, firebomb guys were dealt with. I believe this is the last house that we can explore the inside of. Yeah, and it leads out here. Gold pine resin. That would be useful if we weren't enchanting our weapons, if we just left them as normal weapons. Alright, more of these hollows. We have encountered them lots. It'd probably be more effective to fight them with my mace. Then a crossbow hollow up here. Again, all these enemies really easy, not a big deal to fight. And it's funny that I should say that, and that I should be thinking that, because we're about to encounter an enemy who is a bit of a big deal to fight. So of course, you know, by this time, you're fighting a bunch of creatures, you're exploring, you're getting lots of items, some souls, you know, that sort of thing, and you're thinking, alright, this place is a piece of cake. Easy, I can handle anything this game throws at me. And you come down here not knowing the danger that these Black Knights represent. Because, oh man, these guys are jerks. Yeah, so here's another one of the Black Knights. You have seen me fight and get killed by a fair few of them by now. I think you guys all know the drill. Man, I like the stabby range on that sword. Alright, Titanite chunk. I believe that'll let us upgrade our arm guards again. Which is good next time I run into a bonfire. Blue tier stone ring. Pretty good item to have at any point in the game, but especially early on. See. The blue tier stone ring, I believe, raises your defense by a pretty significant factor once your health drops below a certain point. Maybe halfway, I'm not sure. Alright. Oh, and then like an idiot, I fall off the edge. So that hollow rolls a barrel down. You may have seen that. If you're nimble and you have good timing, which I don't, you can actually run and jump over the barrel. You can also just like hold up your shield and take the hits. I tried to be clever and dodge out of the way a little bit, and you could see how well that worked for me. That's... I gotta stop with all these stupid deaths. Alright, those guys don't go down quick enough. Just gonna clear out all these guys as quickly as possible. That crossbow guy is a nuisance, but not a real threat. Killed all those guys, got all my stuff back. Alright. And that barrel, the barrel will only be rolled down here once, so we're not gonna have to worry about it again. Oh, interesting. Oh, what the hell? There's nothing there. That's a shame. That's always so much fun to do, though. How about here? Alright, fog wall time. So, you guessed it, we have a boss coming up. Normally this would be one of the very first bosses that you fight, so he's here more as an introductory fight than anything else. And there's a semi-hiddenish ladder here, and I believe there's going to be, yeah, there's a couple of crossbow hollows. So, that's kind of a nasty trick that the game pulls on you, sticking you in a relatively narrow boss fight area, and then putting some archers up here. Yeah, so if you don't know those guys are there, you are in for a world of hurt when this fight actually gets going. No, so this boss isn't actually too bad, as you might expect from one of the first bosses of the game. There we go. The Taurus Demon. So we fought the Capra Demon. This is a Taurus Demon. That giant hammer thing that he's wielding, that is a demonic weapon. You can actually obtain that later in the game. Or you can obtain a version of that. Yeah, so with my weapons as overpowered as they are, that guy went down really, really quick. The trick to fighting this guy, as you saw me do, is to use plunging attacks. So you can run over here, you can climb up, you drop down on him, and you attack him, just like we fought the Asylum Demon Guard way, way, way back in the tutorial level. And then the Taurus Demon, you would lure him over here, and then you get him down here at this end, then you run back, climb the ladder, and then do the exact same thing. And you just kind of repeat until he dies. Boss fights are really not that bad. And I'm doing this just because I really enjoy doing it. It's incredibly addicting just rolling through and smashing everything. Occasionally you'll actually find items like that. Alright. Down through here. And ta-da! This area should look very familiar. There's our dragon again, so if we get past the dragon, which is really tough to do thanks to his ridiculous fire breath. If you get past the dragon... Oh, Solaire's here still. That's cool. This is where you would go kick down the shortcut and be able to get back to the bonfire that we're just at. Okay, nothing new from you, Solaire. He's just hanging out. Try to get out of the way. Alright, so the dragon cleared the bridge for us. Now, we are pretty quick. Yeah, I was wondering if I could make it to the shortcut here. Fortunately, I think we're going to die instead. No? Alright. Back here. Oh, and again, I take the wrong turn. So, I showed off this area. I'm gonna go ahead and reverse hollowing again. I like to be human. I don't like to be human. It's terrifying knowing that you can be invaded by any player at any moment. But, you know, it's a little more interesting. Alright, so with this, we can actually go and finally take on the Undead Parish. Whatever that boss is, because we don't know yet. Oh, come on, buddy. Stop being a jerk. Alright. Parried his attack. One of the easiest ways to deal with the shieldy hollows. Now, you may remember this area from before, when we came from the other direction. I had an awful lot of trouble with these rats originally. Partially because of the bleed effect, partially just because there's 3 of them, and they were staggering me. It feels very good to come back here and seek a little bit of vengeance. Alright, back up this ladder. This is not the super duper long ladder. Yeah, and with that, we are right back underneath the dragon, who just flew away. Yep. Yeah, so it all comes around. It's all connected. We've gone full circle. And I don't know why I'm fighting these guys. I really have no reason to do so, so I'm just going to run past the rest of them. And try not to die. Holy crap. Yeah, man, we got to do something about our armor. I like being quick and nimble, but jeez, cannot take a hit at all. And by we have to do something about this armor, I mean I'm going to be sticking with this armor probably for the rest of the game. I like the aesthetics, I like the little bit of challenge. Alright, lightning spear. Boom. Alright. You get a lightning spear too. No, you don't! Jeez. The only problem with the lightning spear and a lot of the other spells in the game is that it can be really tough to hit enemies. The spells can just be easy to dodge. Alright, I don't think we're going to encounter any other humans here. It's getting pretty late in the evening, so I'm not really expecting a lot of people to be online still. Kind of expecting them to have dropped off. Bloodstain, but I don't see a ghost. That's a useless bloodstain. That guy can be a bit tricky just because you're fighting him on stairs. Be wary of caster. Yep. I see him, he's right there. Man, this guy is super annoying to deal with. Ooh. Yeah, so this guy has a whole horde of these little weaker hollows here. gotta be really careful not to get overwhelmed by all these guys. Lucky for us, though, the sword has a pretty awesome little stabby range. Alright, I think we're good. Another one of these knights. Don't mind going hit for hit with that guy. Yeah, so this is going to be pointless. There's not anything we can do in this room. If you come here earlier in the game, there is an actual purpose to coming into this room. But because we're here so late, doesn't really matter. Also, keep going. Yes. Rolling into everything. Alright. Humanity. Alright, we're almost at the boss. Yeah, there's an item there. Another soul. Always good to have more souls. We will surely be making use of them later. Those soul items are mostly good for when you are really close to leveling up and just need a little oomph, a little something extra to push you over that edge. And there's our buddy, Knight Solaire. So I'm going to go ahead and summon Solaire here with his awesome orange soapstone symbol, because he is also a part of our covenant. Yeah! Knight Solaire. So here we go. Boss time. We get a little cutscene here. Yeah, just like the last boss in front of the Bell of Awakening. Although, unlike the last boss, we're not going to see boobs here. And we're not going to see them over and over again every freaking time I go to fight the boss. Yeah, big old gargoyle. So the only reason this fight might be tricky at all is because of what just happened, where the second gargoyle just showed up. Right behind me and then breathed fire on me. Son of a gun. Yeah, so about halfway through the fight with the first gargoyle, a second gargoyle shows up. I don't know when gargoyles learn to start breathing fire, but apparently that's a thing they can do. I'm going to kill the second one over here first, the one that has the most health. I would like to try and chop off this gargoyle's tail, though more importantly, I just want to save Solaire. Okay. Yeah, saving Solaire seemed more important. Yeah, so because Solaire survived the fight, we got another sunlight medal. So that's good. Considering that's in our covenant, I don't expect that I'm going to be reaching level 2 of this covenant, but it never hurts to be collecting souls and whatnot along the way. So, you know. Alright. Man, I love the environments in this game. So up there is going to be our Bell of Awakening. The second one, although it's normally the first. I think we're going to stand over here and admire the view, though, for now. Yeah. Alright, thank you for joining me. I hope to see you next time.